What's going on, everybody? Kenny Bomb is in the building, and for a while now, I was wondering how we were going to talk about these fatalities without getting penalized by YouTube because we obviously can't show them. Well, last night as I was perusing the Reddits, I saw somebody had a fatality tier list up, so I said, you know what? I'm going to give you guys my Mortal Kombat 1 fatality tier list. But first, I need you to give me your top 3 fatalities from Mortal Kombat 1 in the comment section. But don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any updates on this game. Now let's get into it.
Run, boy, they coming on.
So let's go ahead and kick it off with the first character we see on the list here. We got Reptile. So Reptile's fatalities are pretty much what you would expect them to be. Nothing really combining his lizard and human hybrid though. Both pretty much lizard form fatalities. One, he eats the guy, spits him out and crushes him. The second one pretty much just formed around the acid and the acid tongue around the neck, melting the guy up. But I think they are good fatalities. I would have liked to see something with his human form and the reptile form kind of mixed in the two, but maybe he picks him up in the human form, turns into the reptile and bites him. I don't know, but I think overall what they came up with was pretty good. Next up, we got Raiden. Now, if you ask me, Raiden's fatalities are always kind of on the light end. In all of the Mortal Kombat games, it's like he just shocked the guy until he blows up. In this one, Raiden's fatalities were better than they ever have been. The first one, he shoots a hole through the guy's stomach, just like a hula hoop goes through the guy's stomach and blows him apart. And then it doesn't stop there. He continues on with the damage and the mayhem. But his second fatality was kind of like a redemption to all of the simple ones in the past, because he does the same thing. He grabs the opponent with his electricity, he shocks them up until they turn into a skeleton, and then he flies through them with his special move, that thumb it away. But this time he says, hands up in the air. So we got to give it to Raiden, y'all. Flawless fatalities in Mortal Kombat 1, and I think this is the first time I could ever put him in that category. Next up, we have Nitara. And Nitara came back with a vengeance. Get it? Vengeance? That was a Batman reference, but don't even worry about it. Nitara's first fatality is kind of underwhelming to me, because she gets the bats, puts them in her opponent's body, and then she walks up to him and kind of opens the front of their body like it's a door. Kind of crazy, the bats fly out, but whatever, because her second fatality is one of the best fatalities in the game. She takes the opponent's guts out, pulls them in the sky, kicks them back down, pulls the guts, and their skeletons come out. Man, that second fatality would have had her in the flawless category, but because of the first one, we can't put her in there. The second fatality is too good to put her mid, so we're gonna go here. And you know what? That second fatality is better than Reptile, so we're going to put Nitara up right here. We're going to have to forgive her for the first one. Next up, we got Mileena. Ooh, talk about underwhelming fatalities, y'all. One, eating the brain out. The second one, she takes the side, twists the neck. Sure, it's brutal, but I think we could have done a lot better with Mileena's fatalities, especially given her condition. I think Mileena's fatalities are kind of mid in this game. Next up, we got Liu Kang. The fatality we saw in the first trailer with the two dragons coming apart, taking the guy up in the air, splitting him down the middle, perfect. Beautiful fatality, and I think that fatality is what you would think about when you think fatality. The second fatality where he takes them up to space, does the snap, that's the evolution of a fatality. When you go from one Mortal Kombat game to the next, you expect to see the fatalities expand and get better than they ever have been. And I think that second fatality definitely shows that. I think his first fatality is like a Mortal Kombat 12 fatality. That second fatality shows us what's possible for Mortal Kombat 13. So, absolutely flawless fatalities for Liu Kang. Right now, we're going to have to put him in front of Raiden, but both of them have great fatalities. Next, we're going to move forward to Li Mei. Now, Li Mei, her first fatality, the fireworks, where she runs up, kicks the opponent, the head goes in the air and explodes like a fireworks. I love that one. The second one's kind of iffy to me. I guess she like sticks the dragon dog thing inside of their body. Then it kind of bites their heads off on the way out. So, you know what? Not bad. The first one is really good. So we'll put her in the mid category. I guess we're going to move Reptile back again because her first one's really good, even though the second one isn't too crazy. Next, we got Kung Lao. Now, Kung Lao is a guy who always performs. If you want to talk about characters who have great fatalities in pretty much every game, you're going to go Kung Lao. I will say this though, his first fatality was kind of weak. I felt like it was like a fatality we've seen before, maybe even in Mortal Kombat 11, kind of like with that flower thing he did, kind of looks like the same. But the second one gives us that Kung Lao fatality that we really expect to get from him always. Puts the opponent on his back, the hat's up in the air, and cuts him straight down the middle. Then he takes the body like, here you go. Beautiful fatality from Kung Lao. That second one yeah. With one bad fatality, I can't give you flawless. So I'm going to say Kung Lao is really good. But Nitara's second fatality, I think, is still better than his. Next up, we got Kitana. Kitana's first fatality, you know what? The one with the helicopter, like the fan spinning on the top and the bottom, it's fine, but it's kind of like, it gives me the problem I have with the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 1. It's just a lot of explosive mess. Like, it's just so fast. You can't really see anything. The fans are just closing in on each other, and you just see, like, blood and splatter just going all over the place. And I think a lot of the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 1 kind of don't have the impact, and it's just kind of just like the mess like that. So the first one kind of takes a hit, and the second one with the fan could have been good. I mean, it's a classic fatality, but she walks up to him, puts the fan in front of her face, and gives them a kiss. So we don't even see the kiss being delivered. I don't know why it was done that way, because if it's a problem with her taking the mask down, or I don't even know, because I don't know if she has the option to fight with the mask off. If they didn't want to do like two animations, one where she's taking the mask off and one where she doesn't have the mask on. But when you do your fatalities, either way, the masks just disappear. So I don't see why they just didn't make the mask disappear and actually let her give the opponents a kiss. So that kind of took that down a bit. But yeah, I think Kitana's going to end up with her sister, Mileena, in the mid category. Yeah, we're going to leave him mid. So Kenshi. You know what? We got to get Kenshi up here. I'm not even going to hold back on the guy. One of the most brutal, like, if you think about fatalities where you can feel the pain happening, that fatality where the sword goes in the air, or the Sento, whatever you want to call it, where Sento goes in the air and comes down and like spinning in a circle, goes into the opponent's throat and down the body. Y'all, that is terrible. I can feel it right now. And the second one is really good too. We cuts the opponent up, nice choppy fashion as you would expect. So Kenshi, flawless fatalities. Johnny Cage. Remember I was talking about Liu Kang having that fatality that kind of takes us to the next level of what fatalities should be? Johnny Cage has one too. Now his first one, where it's kind of like the Walk of Fame thing, I guess, where he puts the plaque on the ground, beats the head in, that's very mid. You know what? If his second fatality was mid like that, then he would definitely be mid. Cashy Cage already did the phone pose thing, but you know what? We're moving everybody back because that second fatality is so good. Johnny Cage would have definitely gotten in that flawless category if that first fatality delivered like it should have. But you know what? The first fatality was kind of a Johnny Cage fatality, but the second one, next level. But hey, I'm not even a big Johnny Cage fan, but I think we got to put him right there. Next up, we got Havik. So Havik is very strange in Mortal Kombat 1, and his fatalities are very strange as well. The first one being the atomic heart. He takes his heart out, takes the opponent's heart out, puts his heart in the opponent's body, and then it blows up. Keep in mind, the opponent is alive the whole time, even with no heart. The second one, he kicks his leg on the opponent to break his knees and sticks his knee bones in the opponent's neck, breaks his fist down to his elbow on the opponent's chin, and then stabs his wrist bone through the neck, followed by a body slice. This was building up to be a great fatality, but I do feel like they didn't land the finish, so we're going to stick Havik right here, but still, two good fatalities. Now we got Baraka. It always seems to be hit or miss with Baraka, but in Mortal Kombat 1, they got two hits. The first fatality is kind of a classic one. Two blades through the body, blades go through the eyes, and then he rips the body open. Great. But this second fatality, this is definitely the best Baraka fatality of all time. It's hard to say this is not the best fatality in this game. He goes up, rips the opponent's guts out, kicks him up in the air. Now the opponent's hanging from something. I don't know what's holding them up in the air, but they're hanging from something over a fire Baraka created. And then Baraka's minions, the Tarkats, come in to feast on the opponent's body. Now, Baraka lets the thing go. He lets the guts go. So I don't know what he tied it on or how they're still hanging. Doesn't make sense at all. But you know what? Again, it's Mortal Kombat. And this is one of the best fatalities in the game without a doubt. So I'm going to have to pull Kenshi back a little bit. Oh, man. Liu Kang's are just so good, y'all. I can't put Baraka in front of him. But Baraka's fatalities are really good. And he's a monster in this game as well. So they did justice to Baraka here. Next up, we got Ashrah. Now, I wasn't a big fan of Ashrah's fatalities in this game. One of them, she threw some light swords through the opponent, obliterated the body. Second one, wrapped a rope around the opponent, pulled it, some type of lasso thing. I think they're kind of simple. I think we need to take it back to the drawing board. So I think we got our first canceled Christmas. I think we could have done a lot more with Ashrah's fatalities. Next, we got Geras. Now, Geras has some really good fatalities. Let's start out with the first one because while simple, it's effective. If you ever rubbed your hand on like sand really hard, you know that feeling. So when you look at this fatality, you can get the feeling of what's going on. Sand's kind of spinning around in like a whirlwind. He takes your body and it just tears up half the body. And then the ending is kind of light. He throws them on their head and everything just explodes. That's that problem I said we have with like Kitana, where all of the pieces just goes over here. You know what? It's just like the body's made out of nothing. He slams it down and it explodes. But his second fatality is something amazing. Geras reaches into another timeline, pulls his opponent's head off, beats him with it, and then gives it to him. And then you get Geras from the other timeline, reaching into his timeline, pulling his opponent's head off, and you could assume he's doing the same thing on the other end. One of the best fatalities in the game, and we've said that a few times here now, so Geras, I gotta put him on the top tier rank. Now, does he go in front of Kenshi? Oh man, that fatality is so creative, man. We gotta put him up here. I think we put him behind Baraka, just because of that second fatality. All right, next we got Reiko. I see a lot of people praising Reiko's second fatality, but the first one I think is actually better than the second one. So the first one, he takes his staff. Now, I don't know how the staff got sharp, but he's swinging it and cutting the guy up. And then he stabs it through his body, pulls the rib cage down the staff, and you can see the head standing up on top of the staff. That is a great fatality. The second one, it just seems like he's doing a bunch of stuff. Breaks this, breaks that, breaks this, bends his body, reaches in, pulls his skull out. Now, I do like the end where the opponent's laying down and you can see like the face melt. I think that's really cool, but some people have been saying that's the best fatality in the game, and I don't necessarily agree with it. But I do think Reiko has two good fatalities. Next, we got Scorpion. You know what? Scorpion's fatalities, I feel like they try very hard with, but his first fatality in this game where he throws them up in the sky, throws his blades through, kind of pulls their head around and then catches it with his hands. I don't know. I think they tried to make that one like really good, but I didn't really like it too much. But his second fatality is kind of a callback to his Mortal Kombat 3, I believe it was, Mortal Kombat Ultimate, whichever 3 he was in, where it goes dark and you see all of the scorpions jumping up, doing what the hell ever they were doing. In this one, you got an actual group of, I guess they're Lin Kuei members. They come up and help him do the fatality. He finishes it off with the axe in the head and pulls the skeleton from the body, all kind of, it's a mess. It's crazy, but I think it's a great fatality. But we will put Scorpion right, that second fatality is really good. I'll put him here. Yeah, I say we put Scorpion there. And next up, we got Rain. Let it rain, baby. I think Rain probably has. Honestly, I know Liu Kang's fatality is cool, and he got the combo where they're both so good. But Rain's fatality is, I think, my favorite fatality in the game. Where he gets him in like the water portal, and then he splits it. And it's kind of like the whole split the Red Sea thing. I think that was very creative as well. So you know what? I'm putting Rain. Now, his second fatality is kind of like a water snake that squeezes the opponent. I don't even remember how it really ends, but that first fatality is so good, I got to put it right here. The second one's good too, but that first fatality is, again, personally, my favorite fatality in the game, but Liu Kang's, he has two really good fatalities, so we got to keep him at number 1 for right now. Next, we got Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung. I love his second fatality with the guy on the table. he does his whole experiment thing where he rips the body, pours his serum in there, and then the little dragon thing comes out, eats the opponent's head. That's a great fatality. The first one's pretty simple. Pours the, well, he sticks his blades in the neck, pours the toxin down, and it kind of melts up the body. So something in line with what Reptile does, but just actually with them consuming the poison or toxin. So I like Shang Tsung's a lot. I think we're going to put Shang Tsung right here. Yeah, I think we'll put Shang Tsung right there. I think the table fatality is really strong. But the other one, you know, it could be a bit better. If he had 2 strong fatalities, I think he could have got bumped up a bit further, but I think that's where we settle with him right now. Next, we got General Shao. 2 very strong fatalities. Are they too similar? Some might say that, but I think they're very strong. And they're some of my favorite fatalities in the game. Especially the first one. He throws them up in the air, does the little spin thing, and all of their skin and everything comes off. Yeah, it's too good, man. It's too good. Second one, he throws them up on the air and kind of finishes it off with the axe on the ground. But I think when it comes to good fatalities, General Shao probably has the best in the game. I wish we could put them flawless, but they are too similar to each other. You know what? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I think we're going to go flawless with General Shao. They're too good, man. They're too good. That first fatality is amazing. I'm going to go flawless with General Shao. We'll put him on the back end, but I think he definitely belongs up here. Next, we got Sindel. Who's your queen? I love it, Sindel, but I think her fatalities are very, very underwhelming. The second one, the Scream fatality, is fine. It's more in the vein of Sindel, but I think we could have did better with Sindel in this one. I think we could have did better with Sindel, so I think we're going to cancel Christmas on her 2 fatalities. You know what? I'm not going to cancel Christmas on them because the Scream fatality is fine, so we're going to say it's mid. We're going to say it's mid. Smoke. Now, Smokes. We can definitely cancel Christmas on Smoke's fatalities because he's Smoke. Why don't his fatalities really involve smoke? I guess it's a smoke bomb that blows up in the opponent's mouth, but it's not enough. The second one, he's just running really fast, cutting their arms and legs and stuff off. I think we could have done a lot better with smoke. Even if we went to like some of the old fatalities, you had to involve some type of smoke thing, man. Smoke kills people, so you could have used the smoke to actually get it done. So yeah, we're canceling Christmas on Smoke. And maybe I'm biased because I don't like Smoke too much based on his personality in this game. Cancel Christmas on that boy altogether. Next, we go to my boy Sub-Zero. I think the first fatality Sub-Zero has with the ice spike is the best fatality Sub-Zero has ever had. Call me crazy. Now, I'm not going to talk about really the neck pull fatality because the cameo has it, and I think we can do another tier list for the cameos, but I don't even think that's better than this one. The second one is kind of light. Bang his head on the ice, leave the brain, pull it off, and then the brain sticks there. That's really good, but I wouldn't put it as flawless. But I will put it, you know what? Johnny Cage fatality is so good. We got to keep him right there, but I think Sub-Zero falls right there. But that's actually saying a lot for Sub-Zero because I think his fatalities are normally pretty weak. So, yeah, I think we're going to leave Sub-Zero right there. And then we have Tanya. Now, her first fatality is pretty simple. Stick the staff in the opponent's mouth, pull it out with the skeleton, neck bone, and everything. But the second fatality is amazing. The opponent gets taken in the air, arms and legs spread out. She takes her staff and throws it through their mouth. The staff cuts their body in half with the head remaining on the staff as it fades out. Beautiful fatality. One of the best fatalities in the game as well. But the first one is just okay. So I can't give her that flawless. But she definitely... You know what? I think her second fatality is better than Nitara's second fatality. So we got to put Tanya right behind Sub-Zero. And that closes out our fatality tier list. What do y'all think about it? Where do y'all stand on the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 1? Overall, I will say the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 1 are not better than the fatalities in Mortal Kombat 11, but you did have some really good stuff here. The only thing about Mortal Kombat 11 I didn't like with the fatalities was the fact that it kind of slowed down at the end, where I like how they finish out in this one, but I don't know what it is. They just don't really hit hard like fatalities usually hit. But can I even say that, being that this game has some of the best fatalities of all time? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. But thank y'all for tuning into this video. Don't forget to drop a like on it and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Bomb Squad, let's get to that.